Siamo ora alla nomina dei vincitori delle varie sessioni del festival e chiedo al nostro presidente di giuria, Babak Payamin, di venire. Grazie.
Thank you very much. I think everybody remembers the story, the dream I had last time during the opening ceremony. For those of you who don't, the night before the opening ceremony, I had a dream that Dante came to my dreams. And he spoke to me in English because he wanted to make sure I understand, not in Italian. And he said, don't speak in Italian during the opening ceremony. So I listened to him, obviously, who won't listen to Dante in his dreams? But I thought it's only for the opening ceremony, so I decided for the closing ceremony, I'm going to speak in Italian. And I decided not to sleep last night, so I won't even dream of him. Bloody hell, I fell asleep at 5 o'clock in the morning this morning. Foggy dream, I was walking up from the hill, from the offices of the festival towards Caffè Centrale. There was nobody at Caffè Centrale except this man sitting with his back towards me. He turned around and it was Dante again. And again in English he said, thank you. I'm not gonna speak in Italian. So for that I will make a long story short. You know, I have a romantic relationship with Asolo because when I arrived the first time, it was almost 10 years ago, up the twisty road of Foresta Vecchio. And before anything, we stopped in front of Casa Malipiero, and my friend Zamperoni took me up and showed me the museum. That visit inspired me a lot, and I even wrote a story that I intend to someday make a film with that subject that inspired me from Casa Malipiero. But it is his spirit that always remains. Every time I come to Asolo over the last 10 years, I sense there's something about Malipiero that sticks to Asolo more than anybody else who has come and gone in Asolo. The detachment from the past, not as a revisionist, but as someone who looks forward towards the future and who appreciates the fact that it is the young generation that is going to carry forward with art and culture. And I think that is the essence of the Asolo Art Film Festival, and it's that spirit that carries us all forward. A musician who, in all silence, helped inspire other young musicians. Now this journey, of course, I did not go alone. I have the honor of having the trust of the jury, which I will introduce shortly. But before that, we would like to honor the choice of the audience, which is our audience award. And to do that will be Luciano Zaccaria, who's going to come and give out the audience awards wherever. There he is.
Siamo arrivati all'essenza sostanzialmente dei 929 film arrivati. Si è scesi prima a 200, poi a 100, poi a 58 e adesso ci sono questi pochi premi. Io sono qui per giustificare solo la mia presenza, per consegnare il premio del pubblico, che è un premio importante perché le giurie danno le loro opinioni, i giornalisti critici scrivono le loro, però poi il pubblico decide. Il premio del pubblico, che è il primo film che viene consegnato questa sera, è andato a In tempo ma rubato, che è la biografia di Mario Brunello, per la regia di Giuseppe Baresi. Il premio Francesco Bonsagliano.
Buonasera a tutti. Brevemente, io sono il produttore, una delle tante anime che costruisce queste storie. La storia racconta Mario Brunello, che è un violoncellista atipico che esce dai teatri per suonare in altri luoghi e portare la musica fuori da una cornice rigida.
Our team, of course, the jury who had to go through watching the films and enjoy the films with you all, I would like to introduce them. Ahmad Rafat, he couldn't be with us tonight for other obligations. Elisabetta Brusa, Matteo Galbiati, Andrea Dall'Asta, and Nina Rosenblum, Michelangelo Dall'Alto. So we should start with the different categories, and as everyone saw, the films were selected into various categories. The first category that we had was films on art. And it was a pleasure to see the films and the selection. It was a very difficult decision, and I would like my colleagues to help me give the prize out to the film for the prize, the Asolo prize for the best film on art.
Premio Asolo per il miglior film sull'arte.
Nora.
Alla Cogan e David Hinton.
Of course, each one of the staff of the Asolo Art Film Festival has been so kind to accept the prize on behalf of the winners.
For dance, using ethnic rituality and rhythms, body architecture, and contemporary sounds, the seductive way of telling about the growth and the flight of an African woman, her discovery of the Western world that enhances her talent, and her return to origins with the gift of her knowledge.
The next one, obviously, is the Asolo Prize for Best Artist's Biography.
Premio Asolo per la miglior biografia d'artista.
Calder, Sculptor of Air.
François Lévy Coens.
For the apparent structure of a traditional documentary, the director's strength models the story of the life of this great artist, taking us back to the cultural life of an epoch with a wealth of details between America and Europe.
The next one is the Asolo Prize for Best Video Art and Computer Art Film.
Premio Asolo per la miglior opera di videoarte e computer art.
And the prize goes to Hemorrhage.
Kim Sean.
For the synthesis created between computer art and video art, expressing with irony the peculiarities of contemporary Korean aesthetics through a plastic explosion of sounds and color.
The Asolo Prize for Best Production by a Film School.
Premio Asolo per la miglior produzione di scuole di cinema.
Descendants.
Eiko van der Skern.
For the freshness and search for perfection expressed during the work that proves capable of dealing with a topic so loaded with meaning and topical interest as is the reception of what is different through poetic dialogue in the world of nature.
Asolo Prize for Best Film on Architecture and Design.
Premio Asolo per la miglior opera su architettura e design.
Predappio in Luce.
Marco Bertozzi.
He's here.
Che dire, un grandissimo piacere, veramente. Mi sto quasi abbonando a questo festival. 2 o 3 anni fa lo vinsi con un piccolo film su Roma fatto con materiali d'archivio, Appunti Romani si chiamava, e quest'anno è stata una bellissima sorpresa avere un altro premio per questo film difficile sulla città di Mussolini. Grazie davvero a tutti. I am very glad and thank you very much, all of us. Thank you.
For the rigorous story which confronts the myth of fascism through the images of the time, the study of the project of building an industrial city that was never realized, and the construction of a tomb that helped to elaborate on the end of an epoch and which raises new questions.
The next one is the Asolo Prize for Best Film on Harmony and Territory.
Premio Asolo per il miglior film su armonia e territorio.
5 Walks.
Anna Abrams.
For the solemnity with which the oldest forest in Europe is elected protagonist of a story, evoking the ghosts of its dwellers whose spirits drift through the passage of time.
The only prize with which the jury decided that we have to be unanimous on, although most of the prizes we were unanimous, is the special mention, and we were unanimous in a film that needed a special mention among the films that we've seen. The merits of which our dear colleagues will read them, and the special mention will go to They Will Come to Town.
Menzione speciale della giuria, They Will Come to Town di Tilo Evers.
For the strength in transmitting with great communicative effectiveness and exciting vision the possible nightmare of humanity on the march.
Of course, for our dear, in the name of our dear citizen of Asolo, the Asolo Festival Prize for Best Soundtrack, Giancarlo Francesco Malipiero for Best Soundtrack, goes to
Premio Gianfrancesco Malipiero per la miglior colonna sonora,
Carried by the Wind.
Adam Sebir.
For not being just the composition of a good musician, but for being a world cadenced with sounds and voices that dialogues with each other and which, on Palestinian land, brought by the wind, comes from the other side of every wall.
Of course, there's a special jury prize for a film that we all enjoyed very much, and the special jury prize,
Premio speciale della giuria,
Steno, Genio Gentile.
Maite Carpio.
For having recognized the extraordinary capability to represent daily life of an epoch in a protagonist, often considered minor in Italian cinema, and having known how to translate it all in film types, turning himself into a master.
And of course, last but not least, the grand prize, the Asolo Festival Grand Prize for the best competing film in all of the categories, a film that we all enjoyed very much, and I look forward to future success of the director and makers of that film.
Gran Premio Asolo per la miglior opera in concorso.
For the second time in this ceremony, Nora. I would like to thank my colleagues for having trusted me with the responsibility and also for having endured my interventions, but I think it was a job well done. And with that, we will say goodbye to you as the jury of the 28th Asolo Art Film Festival, and I will pass the floor back to the president of the festival. Thank you very much.